This is 7 News, the voice of the border.
Tonight, the Victorian road toll spikes as the sisters of a man struck near Wangaratta mourn their loss.
Optus customers unlikely to be compensated after one of the worst outages in history.
And not much sleep as heavy rain, thunder and lightning lashes the region.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. Two Melbourne sisters have told of their horror at losing their brother in a freak accident on the Hume Freeway.
22-year-old Jonathan Tran, the family's provider, was hit by a truck on the Hume Freeway. His death comes during a spike in Victoria's road toll, the highest it's been in 15 years.
Courtney and Caitlin's brother died about 260 kilometres away from their home southeast of Melbourne.
I was like, this is not real, like, you're lying to me. I thought it was a joke. I repeated it like, you're joking, like I repeated it over and over. I really didn't think it was real.
Just south of Wangaratta on Saturday afternoon, pulled over to fix his car. A regular road trip turned tragic when a truck headed north up the Hume struck 22-year-old Jonathan Tran.
Cheers, lad.
His family remembering the tradesman as the energy in the room, the life of the party and a role model for his sisters.
He would always say, I gotta do it for Courtney and Caitlin, you know what I mean? Like, always. Like, I even told him, like, babe, you're like natural born provider, like, you just go get it, you know, and everything he did, it was always for his sisters and no one else.
Mr Tran's impact is clear. A GoFundMe page set up in his honour now almost triple the $15,000 target. A wave of generosity which will give some security to his sisters.
Now I have to live in his place. Like, I'm only like freshly 19, my sister's still under 18, and my sister can still continue to go to school without worrying about who's going to pay for the food and who's going to pay rent and who's going to pay for her schooling.
And give them time to mourn the loss.
I remember the times we used to go forward driving, and then afterwards, because I didn't want to get on my knees, get dirty. He was always wearing those tradie shorts.
Mr Tran's death is one of 13 on our roads over Cup Day weekend, putting the road toll at 251 and pushing it to a 15-year high. But for the Tran sisters, it's now about honouring a life and living how he wanted them to live.
I'd be with him and there was nothing else in the world that matters, and I don't think you really ever meet people like that.
Jacqueline Stanley, 7 News.
Border and northeast residents were kept awake last night by an intense thunderstorm. More than 30 millimetres of rain fell in Albury, while south of the border, thousands were left without power.
Intense storms battered the border, waking residents around 2 a.m. Heavy rain fell while flashes of lightning illuminated the night sky and booming thunder echoed in the region's first major storm of the season.
We saw that significant weather come through on the border and northeast, and certainly brought some high rainfall totals and some destructive winds.
That's just this uneasy air mass that's just trying to sort itself out, and so that's going to bring a high likelihood we'll see a repeat performance this evening and possibly for the next couple of days.
The lightning meant lights off for a total of 3,500 homes in the region. Castle Creek in Wodonga was one of the worst hit areas, but many without power had it restored by lunchtime.
Unfortunately, the fault was on a power line that is over 200 kilometres long, and so it was difficult to isolate exactly where the issue was. So we had crews out patrolling the line into the night.
The isolated storms were hit and miss, but luckily where they did hit, the damage was minimised. SES responded to just 11 calls for help in the Hume region, with a few fallen trees and some leaky roofs, the worst of the casualties.
I think the biggest impact for us last night was the short, sharp rainfall and the dramatic lightning and thunder.
While much of the region escaped significant damage in last night's storm, the SES says we're only just approaching thunderstorm season, so they're urging everyone to be prepared with more storms expected over the coming months.
This trend of weather will continue throughout the summer period into early autumn.
To be prepared, look after your neighbours, call in and ask if there's something you can do to help them be prepared as well. The more prepared we are, the less damage we'll see from these events.
Clesienta, 7 News.
Well, Kirsty joins us now with a closer look at today's weather. And Kirsty, we have seen, as we've just heard, some wild conditions about.
That's right, Maddie, Nick. Very wild weather today. Hello, everyone. Plenty of storms around the region with moderate to heavy rainfall. Storms and lightning rolled through around 1 a.m. and then again about 6 this morning. Albury, Wodonga recording 17 millimetres of rain in just 12 minutes, with a total of 41 millimetres in the gauge by 9 o'clock this morning. Omeo picked up 33 millimetres with 30 millimetres for Falls Creek. Temperatures today did hover around the low to high 20s and it remained muggy for most, with a moderate east to northeasterly breeze. Conditions did dry out around lunchtime though. We are expecting clear skies on the forecast for our Friday tomorrow. I'll have those details a little later.
Clear skies, sounds good. Thanks, Kirsty. The federal government has launched an inquiry into the Optus blackout amid calls for tighter regulation of the telecommunications sector. Locally, the region's small towns say the debacle proves that cash is king.
This is the largest mobile communications network failure in Australia's history.
Small towns say the nationwide outage is a timely reminder of what they already knew.
Cash is king. Don't forget it. When the internet goes down, this is what you need.
Rutherglen's service station was out for the count. Customers without cash, unable to pay for their fuel. And at the newsagent, the writing was on the wall, a reminder of how the regions prefer to do it the old way.
Days like yesterday is just devastating for both businesses and individuals. Young people nowadays, they don't carry cash, so days like yesterday, they wouldn't have been able to get a damn thing.
As questions to Optus go unanswered, the government steps in.
The problems with Optus really are seismic for Australia. We're talking about 10 million customers.
Canberra hinting compensation is warranted, urging Optus customers, business or personal, to keep their receipts.
It'll be a matter for Optus to make clear how it's going to respond.
And the calls for compensation are loud, with local social media rife with criticism. Some saying it's tough when you are running your own business, not impressed to receive their Optus account in the middle of the outage. Others want to know how we can make sure these people are protected, just in case something like this happens again. While others say it shows the complete dependency we now have on technology in our everyday lives.
39.10, and thank you for paying cash today.
Jacqueline Stanley, 7 News.
The region's mayors and politicians are supporting a parliamentary inquiry into police resources in regional New South Wales. Rochelle Putnikovic is here with us now. And Rochelle, what more can you tell us?
The figures show crime rates are much higher here than in the big cities. Now, the Country Mayors Association of New South Wales is calling on Parliament to address our needs. The organisation has assessed funding and resourcing across regional, rural and remote areas, gaining widespread support for an inquiry.
If we can match the cities and the resourcing and the safety that our community needs to feel, anything that helps with that, a parliamentary inquiry has the support of the country mayors right around New South Wales.
Mayors are yet to receive official responses from Parliament.
Thanks for the update, Rochelle. Rochelle Putnikovic reporting there for us tonight.
11 green freight workers are going on strike for 3 days. The mechanics are demanding a pay rise, saying they're being paid 25% below the going rate.
We're loud, we're union and we're proud.
It's the second day of a 3-day strike at Green Freight in Wodonga.
These are the workers that basically kept the trucks rolling through the whole pandemic period.
The striking workers have several demands, with pay being the big one.
Fair work for fair pay.
They just want a decent wage increase, something that gets them back up the market rate, something that offsets the cost of living, and we're just not there at the moment.
The union says workers are being paid more than 25% below industry standards. It's negotiating for a pay increase and improved working conditions.
The company has been sort of very slow in responding, drawing out the negotiations, not offering back pay and all sorts of things along the journey.
Workers say they feel ignored in their demands.
These workers are hurting. They don't want to be out here, but they have to be out here because they're trying to fight to get a decent wage increase.
They're demanding their skills be recognised.
They're very knowledgeable on the trucks here. Like I said, some of them have been here quite a few years. Right? Very knowledgeable people. These are not skills you're just going to literally fall off the street. You're talking about qualified tradespersons here.
We're workers and we're loud. Thanks, love.
With plenty of local support, the workers will continue to fight until Green Freight come back to the negotiating table.
They've given it all. They work 10-hour days literally every day for this company, 5 days a week, even the weekends, all the rest of it, and it's just not appreciated by the company.
Green Freight has been contacted for comment. Rochelle Punikovic, 7 News.
Children at Bellbridge Early Learning Centre were treated to a special storytime session from Defence Force personnel today. The visit comes ahead of Saturday's Remembrance Day, teaching children the significance of the day.
An important lesson from soldiers to the next generation of young Australians.
Oh my goodness, are you taller than the tyre? Oh, you are taller than the tyre. It's something that instills pride in those of the younger generations.
Australian Defence Force personnel visited children at Bellbridge Early Learning Centre today.
So you're going to have a drive?
This was a relation of feelings for the children to actually relate to something that they don't quite understand.
The kids were able to get up close and personal with the G-Wagon soldiers arrived in, first learning a lesson or two about the vehicle.
What makes a car go? Petrol. We put petrol in there.
Then about something arguably more important.
Because I was her brave little soldier. It is something to pause and reflect on the day of Remembrance Day, but it's another thing to actually pass the torch to those that came after us.
Being the 6th generation of defence in his family, Major Mark Robinson says he recognises the importance of passing on the knowledge, stories and tradition to the next generation.
We have always, in my family, supported and made it a very important aspect of our life, and my children also have that aspect growing up as well.
This Saturday marks 105 years since the end of World War I, with hopes commemorations will include young faces honouring fallen soldiers.
Very encouraging to see those that line the streets coming through to actually support the soldiers that support them.
Clesianta, 7 News.
Still to come in 7 News, Bright gets ready for the Rod Run with a warning from police.
And a border church launches its Christmas appeal.
Albury Council is offering help for residents who are unsure about what to do when they find a bee swarm or a snake. Residents who notice a bee clump or snake on council land should contact the council's customer service team. The council also has a list of local beekeepers and snake catchers on its website for snakes and bee swarms found on private property.
New Life Care has launched its annual Give a Gift appeal for young people. The appeal has been running for 12 years, accepting money and gifts for toddlers, children and teenagers. Around 800 gifts are donated each year and are distributed to those in need through government agencies across the region.
People also love this time of year and they get a real kick out of giving to families who are less fortunate than their own families. So it brings people great joy to be a part of an initiative like this.
The Give a Gift appeal will run until December 3rd.
Hyphen in Wodonga will welcome its newest exhibition and it's called The Stains of Time. The exhibition includes paintings and sculptures, explores street art, fine art and public art. Artist Adrian Doyle is doing some of the finishing touches just in time for the big debut.
I mean, it's a very colourful show and you can't help but be engaged by its intricateness. So I'd like to think that the people of Wodonga will really embrace it and, you know, people come across from Albury to see it and from all around.
The Stains of Time will open on Friday and will be on display until the 3rd of March.
Car enthusiasts are gearing up for the annual Rod Run in Bright this weekend. Alpine Shire Council has reminded the community alcohol is banned in designated public areas. On-the-spot fines apply. Road closures for the 3-day event will be in place until Monday.
Up next in 7 News, Belvoir looms as a premiership contender in local cricket.
And game, set, match. Albury ready to play host to a regional tournament.
Welcome back. Belvoir shape as a serious premiership contender this summer in local cricket. But they're also the most exciting to watch, with the club recruiting the league's ultimate showman.
Born in Afghanistan before moving to Norway, Hayat Niazi is about to become one of Cricket Albury Wodonga's favourite players.
I moved to Norway 9 years ago and I played for Norway national team, and then I moved to UK last 3 years, and right now I'm here.
Batting in the middle order, Niazi only knows one way, and that's to be aggressive, as North Albury found out with 5 towering sixes at the weekend.
And he's not even bothered. He's just gone, yeah, I got all of that and a bit more.
I expected, to be honest, a little bit quicker wickets, but it's not that much. But it's flat wickets is helping a lot of for batsman. It's not that much for bowler.
But when at the crease, you can't look away with a goal of launching from the first ball he faces.
I'm always ready from first bowl. So mostly I would be used to hit a first bowl 6, which I did in UK. So that's always a surprise for fast bowler to hit a first bowl 6.
Always wanting to come to Australia, Niazi not only is a devastating bat, but also opens the bowling. The bad news for opponents, at the moment, he's only operating at half pace.
Right now I have a tennis elbow injury, but hopefully I will recover it and I will be ready for next match.
Belvoir sit equal top after 5 games, and after a 128-run win over North Albury, many are predicting big things for the Eagles this summer, and that includes Niazi himself.
Belvoir have a lot of talent, and we have a very good side, balanced side, and we're waiting for one South African overseas. That will be a very good side, and I'm looking for win the season.
Stephen Murphy, 7 News.
Lavington all-rounder Chris Galvin is leading the provincial run scorer. Galvin and St Pat's opener Neil Smith have both had great starts to their seasons, while Belvoir captain Drew Cameron is also in great form. Kiwa's Nat Saraman leads district cricket runs, while 3 players are all tied in the bowling with 7 wickets each. And in Hume, centuries to Waller's Joel Merkel and the Rock's Oscar Willis have them leading the way, with Culcan's Roy Jenkins taking 11 wickets. Albury's grass courts will play host to some of the state's best up-and-coming tennis players. 2 days of competition hits off on Saturday with the region's Champion of Champions event.
Possessing one of the nation's largest junior tournaments in the Margaret Court Cup, the Champion of Champions event is not as big, but the talent is of high quality.
Throughout the year, through January through to where we are now, some of the up-and-coming juniors have been travelling all over the southwest region. A lot of the players have represented the southwest at some state events throughout the year, and it's just the culmination of all the players coming together.
8 players in each age group will contest the championships in both girls and boys divisions. It will be under a round-robin format, and Albury has been lucky enough to win hosting rights. The tournament, which started out in Wagga, always evolving and acts as a pathway for junior players.
Revamping it year in, year out to make it better, more organised, and, as I said, a pure pathway for those starting out their tournament journey and going on to play at higher levels, at state level, national level, and then hopefully overseas as well.
The border will be well represented at the event with a number of promising chances. Coach Jade Kolf believes the tournament will give invaluable experience to the local players.
New South Wales is the biggest state and the most competitive state. So a lot of our juniors got exposure to state level tennis. They're able to come back here. A lot of them are in our academy program, our junior development program, and they'll get a chance to play against the best in the southwest region.
Stephen Murphy, 7 News.
It takes 5 games, but defending men's softball premiers Spartans have finally hit their form. Pitcher Brad Nicholson put in a dominant display as the Spartans defeated Banana Bears 6-1. Meanwhile, Phantoms handed Bears Ducks their first loss. To the ladder now, and Wodonga are the only unbeaten team through 5 matches, with the Phantoms win moving them into 4th. Meanwhile, the Comets ladies have gone down in Wagga softball to Turvey Park Blue. Up next in 7 News, Kirsty is back and she's got your local weather forecast. That's next.
Good evening, everyone. A low-pressure trough that triggered widespread showers and thunderstorms across parts of the state today will weaken tomorrow. A second trough was likely to cross Victoria through Saturday before a ridge of high pressure extends over the state. That should bring dry skies but hot temperatures into the weekend. The next wet weather system does look to sweep through parts of Victoria and into New South Wales from Tuesday. Following today's wet weather, the northeast will likely see a period of clearer skies, but around 5, possibly 10 millimetres is on the forecast with the arrival of that new trough into next week. To our Friday first, and today's wet weather looking to clear to a sunny and settled end to the working week tomorrow. Some very warm conditions as temperatures soar into the low 30s with just a light breeze. Beechworth a top of 30 degrees and even our alpine regions reaching the high teens with a slight bit of cloud cover. Shepparton at a top of 33. Even hotter weather heading our way on Saturday though. Albury, Wodonga tops of 35, Cobram a top of 38, and we will see our fire danger rating elevated to a moderate level right across the northeast. There is about a 20 to 40% chance of a slight shower or a possible thunderstorm around. We're not expecting significant falls though. Omeo 11 overnight, that cloud trapping in some warmth during the evening to a top of 30, and Shepparton jumping to 36. On Sunday, we will feel some cooler southwesterly winds, but those winds will remain strong during the day, and that combined with the high 20s and low 30s will continue to see that fire danger rating elevated. That slight drop though by about 4 or 5 degrees as Wangaratta returns to the high 20s under partly cloudy skies and the low 20s in Mansfield. If we look ahead to the next 7 days, we can see those temperatures jumping again through Monday, but certainly much more in line with what we see for our average for this time of year. Before we get to early next week though, we certainly have a hot couple of days on the forecast. 31 tomorrow, 35 degrees and sweltering through a very hot Saturday, a day for the swimming pool indeed, I think.
That's it. A good day to have a dip.
Yes, that's right.
Thanks, Kirsty.
And that's your local news for tonight. Thanks for watching. You can catch up on our website or, of course, at 7 Plus.
7 News from Melbourne is next. Enjoy your night. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock.